right, well, we're prepping this engine. Putting the, don't forget the intermediate plate. Obviously the flex plate. This is a HB75. I have a late model, so it doesn't need the bushing. But if you're doing weldings, so if you're doing the welding engine mounts, we're not reusing the truck engine isolators, all right? They're out of a Grand Cherokee, 2005 Grand Cherokee V8 5.7 are the isolators that we're gonna be using when you're doing weldings, all right? Bolt-ins come with everything, and we'll show that later, but I figured before I take this off, a lot of guys, hey, this is what I'm gonna use. No, you're not. You're not using these. They won't work. And I think this, like I said, I think this was two-wheel drive also, so the mounts are different on two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. There's another one, another two-wheel drive mount that we're not reusing. Let's see, go to the other side. Yep, there's the other one. So two-wheel drives have this style mount. We're not using any of this. So back to using a Grand Cherokee 5.7 2005. It's in my building material list. So we're not going to use these mounts when doing a weldings. All right, bolt-ins come with everything. Come with isolators, come with the bolts, come with everything. So all right, I thought I'd touch on that. And then I'm getting rid of this too. The oil filter adapter is going away. I had to get rid of the thermostat housing because I had that little nipple sticking out of it. That's not going to work either. Liz is doing this engine, so she's getting this engine prepped. So she has to do the exhaust manifold. That manifold's not going to work. This is the one we got to use. That straight back deal is not going to work. So she's getting this engine all prepped. It didn't have engine mounts on it. This was a four-wheel drive, obviously, and it didn't have mounts. So I think he took the mounts off when he pulled the motor out. So gave me the bolts though, but yeah, they're different mounts for a four-wheel drive. So, all right, yep, just gonna keep chipping away at this, talking about it as we keep going here. And yeah, like I said, Liz is doing the manifold on this side and getting it all ready. And then this one here is one I'm putting together, and then we're gonna be doing that one next. So we're gonna try and knock all these things out, but I thought I would talk about the mounts. So, all right, on to the next step. All right, bolting the tranny to the engine. These four, 1, 2, 3, 4 are 3/8 bolts, all right? And then this one, 10 by, I think it's 1.5 metric goes into the tranny. So these are the only, which is weird, you know, USA or USC or whatever, non-metric bolts, which is weird. Everything else is metric on this thing except for those four, oddly enough, right? So then everything else is metric. So bolting this tranny up, we are just starting to put her back together. So tranny's bolted up. Always make sure you get the dowel pins lined up before you bolt the bolts up, because I've seen a guy break this ear off. So don't like suck it together with the bolts. So I go put it together nice and smooth, get everything level and straight, you know, how I have it here. And don't suck it together with the bolts, because I've seen this ear get busted off. Somebody sucked it in with this bolt and kapow. So, all right, well, just gonna keep chipping away at this. We're gonna do torque converter bolts next, and then the lower structural plate. All right, moving along. All right, so putting the torque converter bolts in. Shoot. So, all right, putting the torque converter bolts in. There's 6 of them, all right? And you gotta put them all in hand tight. So you can't like put 2 in, tighten it down, put 2 in, tighten it down, because you'll never get them all to line up. So you gotta put them all in hand tight. And then you gotta re-rotate it again as you tighten them. So that's how I do it. If you don't, you might find yourself having an issue. So, all right, torque converter bolts. And then I forget that, and then I already tapped the side of the case, so that's all done. So just keep chipping away at this sucker. We'll get there, man. All right, back to this. So have to tap this out for the Camaro fan. 3/8 pipe. So let's see, where is that? Okay, so 3/8 pipe. I use a 9/16 drill bit. I think it's 37/64 or whatever. I don't have that. So 9/16 works fine. I grease this tap. I have the thermostat out. So whatever debris that does come down here, I use my vacuum. So I suck up whatever debris that does get in here. And I always pull out the coolant just so I don't hit it when I'm, you know, either drilling or tapping. I don't want to hit the coolant. So I pull that out too. Just a, you know, helpful hint, I guess, when doing that. But I grease the drill bit, grease the tap, and I always start the tap with my impact so I can get it straight. So I can start it straight, and then I use the my ratchet with my socket. So that's how I do the coolant temp sensor for the Camaro fan, because that's a GM sensor. Can't use the Chrysler sensor for a GM fan. And then we had to change out the oil pressure sensor. All right, that had to be changed. So the oil pressure sensor had to go because the one we had in it, I'll show you here in a second. That's the oil. That would work on a Gladiator or a JL. You know, that one's broken. I mean, I wouldn't use it, but this is the one we cannot use with the JKs. So we changed that and had to change out the crank sensor. All right, this one will not work in a JK. So I had to change out the crank sensor to like a 09 Dodge Ram truck. I just say it that way all the time. So this one has to be changed. 09 Dodge Ram truck. So this one here is not going to work. It'll work on a Gladiator, but we're not doing a Gladiator. It's a JK, so we need this in a JK. Also had to change out the knock sensors. All right, there's two, and you could reuse one from your engine because all the 6 cylinders has one. So new knock sensor, new crank sensor, new oil pressure switch, actually, or I guess it could be a sensor. This one I had to replace. This is the oil pressure, or oil, I guess, oil temp sensor. There we go. You can do it, Todd. This one I had to replace because it was broken, but you don't have to replace this normally. There's the knock sensor. That one always works. Always make sure it has a little tag there, because that thing always gets knocked off for whatever reason. And then had to do the knock sensor on this side. Got to replace that on all of the JKs. So I think that's about it for sensors. Yeah, we're getting there one step at a time. You know, this stuff takes time, right? So, you know, just these are the preps that we have to do. And then when I did the, you know, the transmission, don't forget the intermediate plate and then the structural cover. So this structural cover has to be put on for obvious reasons, all right? So all truck anyway. So this is all truck. Truck training, truck intermediate plate, truck structural plate, truck oil pan, I mean truck, everything, right? So we are reusing the manifolds. This one had the right manifolds on it. I'm gonna take all these brackets off because I don't use any of that crap. I always pull all these things out so I can zip tie things up. And then I think that's about it on this. So, all right, well, we're moving along on this. Seems like it takes forever, but you got to make sure you catch everything, look everything over as you're doing it, you know. So we are going to reuse the water pump and the tensioner and the idler. All that stuff gets reused. I got to put an alternator on this because it didn't have one. So then we're going to run PSC. That's the pump that we always run. And then I got to do the modification. I'll show you that on the AC compressor. I'm going to do that next and keep kicking this can down the road. All right, so installing the thermostat. There's a little brass thing that's usually right here. My finger is. There's a hole now. So I cut the brass thing out. I always have the hole at the top for vent. So it just helps for filling the coolant, I find. I don't know, just what I do. So seems to work. All right, keep moving along here. So I think I just put the starter in. I got to put a heat shield on it, but the reason for the intermediate plate is to center up the starter. So you got to make sure you put the intermediate plate in. All right, I'm gonna keep kicking this thing down the road. All right, so I always mill out the compressor so that it'll work, and thought I'd show a little bit of that process. It's like, whee! So, but yeah, now we're, and I'm no machinist, so you're not looking at Todd the machinist. I just muddled through. So, and this is a really old Bridgeport. I don't know if Henry Ford had this one or not, but maybe. So, all right, well, sure not everybody wants to watch me mill out a compressor, but there's one there. So that's one I just did, so they can have clearance. And then now I'm doing this one. So, all right, well, I know this is boring. I think it's working out. All right, well, this is a compressor mod. Definitely have to do this. And this is just how I do it, and I'm sure I'm not doing it right. Somebody will probably tell me, hey, Todd, you're a nut. That's not how you do this. So, but this is how I'm doing it. And this is how I've been doing it. All right. Off the air compressor mod. Probably need both hands. All right, so now pressing the pulley on, using a press, putting the truck pulley on, which is this pulley here on a truck engine. Did the mod to the air conditioner or the compressor, so you can get to this bolt. It's a lot easier if you ever have to change this compressor on the Jeep. A lot easier. So I did use the stud and the nut. I put a bolt in this one, and so yeah, compressor's all ready to go. Now we're gonna work on power steering. Boom. So all right, so I'm gonna get pressing this pulley on. All right, so on this transmission, this 8-speed, we have our jig set up, which is an old transmission cooler heater thingamajig that we just tapped out so that we could set up our tap in, so we can tap the threads. And I always lube the tap up, make sure it's cleaned before I do it. Don't forget to put these caps inside there. So inside, you can kind of see in there, there's inside of there, I put these red caps in there to plug the holes so no metal shavings go in there. And then you just start tapping you just tap the threads. So it makes it simple because we have threads into the jig, which lines up to the holes in the case so that you can thread it straight. It's been working really good. So we just got to make sure when we loan these out, we get this back and the tap, because we haven't been getting the taps back, and sometimes it's been slow to get these back. So that makes it hard for the next guy that needs to borrow it, so he can borrow it if somebody's got it. So, but off and on this. So now, you know, to tap these, you got to obviously tap this, and we're going to reuse. We were able to pull the fittings out of the cooler. They were here. So we're able to reuse these fittings and the clips. So then when we're done tapping, now we're going to put these back into the side of the transmission. And we also replaced the pan with a steel pan from a Gladiator. And now we're just getting this thing ready. We're prepping these things along, getting everything, getting it all put together. But this is the next move that we're at. We're going to be doing tapping this out to put the tranny cooler lines in. So, all right. Whew. Here we go. All right, one more thing. I like to bevel the ends a little bit so that the O-ring fits inside. Let's give it a little. All right, my assistant needs to hold me. No, oh, you could do this or that.
Yeah, I could do this.
Okay. All right, we're running that. Obviously, I gotta get all the metal shavings out of there because metal shavings in the tranny are no good. That's why we put the caps in there. So, all right. So this is the driver's side engine mount. This upper bolt that's in here. See if I can do this. It's like so. This one in here, it's kind of hidden a little bit. Put that one in first. I do it a 1/4 inch setup. All right. I put it all together like so. And then line her up.
I gotta come around you here.
And I thread this one in first. All the way, Renee.
Loctite that bitch in. No, I'm kidding.
You know, that's what they call it. Fuck the next guy. Oh, can I say that? Yeah. No, we don't want to do that. Don't want to do that to the next guy. But that's how I do the driver's side. I say that and I can't get this one. But there she goes. All right, so then you tighten this one first. All right,
Boom.
Lizzie, your turn.
Bye.
All right, so on the intake adapter that we got to install, this thing, all right, goes here, has a line-up dowel there. There's also one there, dowel right there. We can't use that, so we have to cut that off. We're gonna reuse the gasket, okay? So I get set of flush cuts. Oh, you know what? Something else to think about. You don't want the little plastic piece to go down inside, which it will, because that's usually how our luck goes, right? Even though it's plastic, we wouldn't kill it. Not a good idea. All right, so then I cut her off flush. And then we can put the intake adapter on. All right. Woo, keep moving along. All right, putting the intake adapter on. Yes, we're taking these threaded wood screw looking things out. And yes, we're using 1/4 20 bolts in place, and they thread right in, but they work fine. That's what we've been using for as long as I've been doing these intake adapters. That's how we do it. And you don't go to town on tightening it. Use hand tools and just kind of get it snugged down. And then we're using the lineup pin there. And yeah, we're just gonna keep chipping away at this sucker until we're done. But yeah, just one more thing to do as we put all this together. And I like to have it assembled as possible. And then we'll wire it next, coming up. Now, putting the intake or the throttle body. I put a little bit of silicone on the back and put it in place. So Liz is gonna hate me on this video, having to fix all these videos, but yeah, nope. We a little glue, we're on our way. Right, so here on the tranny mount for the 8-speed, there's always this piece that sticks out right here. It's for the exhaust to be mounted to on a Dodge truck. So I always cut it off. So I mean, I just cut it off right about there. So all right, well, I'm sure you don't want to see me cut a piece of metal, so all right, I am gonna cut this off.